I'm delighted that joining me just to kick things off with a few comments and thoughts is Una Kent, who's Vice President of CSR International for Walgreens Boots. So welcome, Una. How are you today?
Hi, Toby. Lovely to be with you today. I'm good. I'm doing well. As everyone can hear, I've got a Glaswegian accent. So I'm very excited for COP to be coming to my hometown. But more excited about today because I do think this is going to be a great discussion exploring the irrefutable connection between climate change and human health, and then looking at how business can drive impact and collaboration and connection on those two topics. As the Lancet put it, addressing climate change is the greatest public health opportunity of the century. And I think I love that language. I love the language of opportunity. And I'm hoping that today, through our panelists and through the examples that they'll be able to share, we'll really be able to shine a light on the idea of opportunity in this subject. So great to be here, and thanks to everybody for joining.
Well, yeah, thanks very much for your support, and to my team at Innovation Forum, particularly Hannah Halmari and the other members of the Innovation Forum team who've worked very hard to make this happen. And I'm really struck by the point you just made there, Una, about opportunity. That really seems like the key way to frame it. I read a phrase recently about doom scrolling around climate change on the internet, where you can just keep scrolling down and the news gets more and more depressing in some cases, but we do really have to focus on solutions and turning it into opportunity for improved public health. And that's really what we're going to try and do, is take a positive and pragmatic approach. So we're not going to do long introductions. We're not going to do PowerPoint slides. We are going to show you a few little videos, but they're very short and they're pretty good. So I hope that they help stimulate some thought. But before we do that, just give our viewers a bit of context here. We've worked with WBA for a long time, but we haven't done this before. So, why are we working together to do this now?
I think one of the things that we've learned together as we've been working is this idea that we both have at our heart a sense of passion around, exploring how organisations can collaborate and learn from each other. So I think first and foremost, this is a great platform to do that together. Yeah. For people that don't know, WBA is a health-centred company. We have we are committed to boldly creating a better world through health and well-being. And I think through our 315,000 employees around the world, we're in 9 countries with 13,000 stores. Many of you will experience us every day, whether it's through Boots or Walgreens or Ahmada or Benavides. You will have been in one of our stores somewhere in the world and experienced us. And we have, within the context of that, 35,000 pharmacists. So people right on the front line of healthcare in their communities, which I think is a really powerful place to be. And it puts WBA right at the nexus of healthcare. And as a consequence of that, we really have a strategic focus on both health equity and inclusivity. And we have that because we've done a lot of research through materiality work and our CSR strategy that really looks at both what matters to our consumers, but also what they expect of us and where they expect that we should be making an impact. And that materiality work has demonstrated clearly that health equity and climate change are really what they're looking for us to have a strong actor role in. And I think that comes to life later on. What our chief pharmacist from Boots is going to join us. Every single day in our stores, whether it's in our stores, whether it's online, whether it's in our pharmacies, we are seeing every single day the impact of awareness and more informed customers and patients coming to us looking to make better informed choices around their impact on climate change, but also the health of them and their families. So it's a really, really exciting moment, I think.
Thanks, absolutely. And of course, the timing, as mentioned, is designed to be slightly before COP, and to highlight, as you mentioned, this notion of the just transition we're hearing about in many areas of climate change, which is bringing in the human angle, which is, of course, so important. So what are your expectations for this meeting, Una, and generally, I suppose, more broadly on COP26 on these issues?
I think from an expectations perspective, I definitely see And this isn't a cop-out on my part by any stretch of the imagination, but to hear from our amazing panelists and experts who have kindly given their time and to convene around this subject. And as a consequence of that, I think, you know, people are looking to government, to policymakers, to academia, to corporations to really, really find some answers. And the only way to do that is through collaboration. And this is a great platform to collaborate, I would say. In fact, we've always done collaboration and partnerships, always been really, really rooted in WBA's DNA. And we have some fantastic partnerships, whether it's with our Vitamin Angels guys in the US, looking at providing so far 300 million vital vitamins to mothers and young children, or 100 million vaccines to the developing world. And, you know, and even through the pandemic, across WBA, we've administered more than 30 million vaccinations, and in the UK alone, 3 million tests. So we're right in it, and we're right in the topic of health and climate every single day. So I'm really hoping that, through all of the experiences, not only that WBA have, but all of these amazing panelists have, we'll really spark some ideas, we'll really ignite a conversation that is lasting. And when it comes to COP, what I really hope is as you said at the beginning, it's this topic is perhaps not the most high up the agenda. This idea of the interconnection between health and climate hasn't really been as high up the agenda. So hopefully by having this conversation at this time, we can nudge it a little bit further up that agenda.
Thank you, Una. And long term, ideal outcome from this is it's not just another talking shop around COP, that perhaps we could do something more substantive. What would be your ideal outcome in the longer term that might come out of this?
Well, a brilliant conversation first and foremost, so no pressure on anybody, but a brilliant conversation first and foremost. But then really just demonstrating the positive impact that exchanging ideas can have, that then turn into tangible action and activity, whether that's through collaboration beyond this session or the formation of new coalitions, you know, just coming together of organisations that believe in this as an issue to be tackled and believe that we can make a difference together. I think one of the things that we sometimes hear is that it can be quite collaboration, and the notion of collaboration can be quite scary, especially if it's not something you're used to. I think I want to debunk that a little bit as well. We have some phenomenal partnerships with some of the panelists, and we work collaboratively together all the time. And I think hopefully showing that and demonstrating that will make the sense of getting involved and leaning in less intimidating. And you know, ultimately, it's going to take all of us working together. This is a big topic and a big challenge, and it is going to take all of us working together. So the start of a conversation with much more to come, I'd say.
Thanks, Una.